The stars looked different from Neptune orbit. Major Gregory Allen knew this view well after 5 years patrolling the outer solar system. His ship, the ESV Sentinel, was small but quick. Earth's Space Force didn't have many ships yet, but they were well built. Greg sipped his coffee as the ship's AI ran another sweep. Most days were quiet out here. Earth in 2150 was finally at peace after the climate wars, with one government running things. They had bases on the Moon and Mars, but hadn't gone much further. There was still too much to fix back home. "Major, I'm picking up something unusual," said the ship's computer. "Unknown object approaching from outside the solar system." Greg put down his mug. "Show me." The screen lit up with an image that made Greg's mouth drop open. It wasn't just a ship. It was massive. At least 2 miles long with strange glowing sections and a design unlike anything humans had built. "Send alert to command." "First contact protocol," Greg said, his voice steady despite his racing heart. Before command could respond, the alien ship broadcast a message. It came through in perfect English, and according to the computer, in every other Earth language too. "People of Earth, we are representatives of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace to welcome your world to the larger community of spacefaring civilizations." Within hours, Earth was in chaos. The good kind. People celebrated in streets worldwide. News channels showed nothing else. The United Earth Council called an emergency session. 1 week later, Greg stood at attention on the International Space Station as the alien delegation arrived. Their shuttle docked with a gentle hiss, smaller than their main ship but still impressive. The door opened, and Greg got his first look at aliens. They looked almost human, but not quite. Taller, with skin in shades of blue and green, and eyes slightly too large. They wore flowing clothes that seemed to shift colors. "I am Ambassador Leartech," said the tallest one, speaking without any visible translation device. "We are honored to meet the representatives of Earth." Dr. Olivia Martinez stepped forward. As Earth's top expert in language and communication, she'd been chosen to lead the welcome team. "Ambassador, welcome to Earth space. We are honored by your visit and excited to learn about the Galactic Confederation." Leartech smiled, showing teeth that were just a bit too sharp. "We have been observing your world for some time. Your recent development of faster-than-light communication caught our attention. It is the usual signal that a species is ready for contact." Greg noticed something in the ambassador's tone. It wasn't unfriendly, but there was something like amusement. As if talking to a child who had done something clever but simple. The aliens toured the station, asking questions about Earth technology. Their questions seemed basic, almost as if they expected less. "Your artificial gravity is quite functional," said one alien named Vendo, examining the station's rotating sections. "Most young species don't achieve this level of engineering for their first stations." Dr. Martinez caught Greg's eye. She had noticed it too. Later, in a private meeting room, Martinez whispered to Greg, "They think we're primitive." Greg nodded. "They're surprised by what we have, but they clearly expected less." The ambassador mentioned they've been watching us. "I wonder for how long," Martinez said. Their conversation was cut short when Ambassador Leartech entered with a proposal. The Galactic Confederation wanted Earth to join as a protectorate species. They would share some technology, establish trade, and help humanity develop properly. "Your people have great potential," Leartech said. "With our guidance, you'll advance much faster than on your own." As the meeting ended, the ambassador added something that stuck with Greg long after. "It's fortunate we found you when we did. Some sectors of space are not as welcoming to young species." That night, looking out at the massive alien ship from the station window, Greg couldn't shake a feeling. Earth had been hidden away in a quiet corner of the galaxy. And maybe, just maybe, that had been on purpose. 6 months passed quickly after first contact. Earth had accepted the offer to join the Galactic Confederation as a protectorate. Now, Commander Peter Wright stood at the window of the alien ship taking him and 20 other humans to the Confederation capital world, Centauri Prime. Peter watched stars streak by at speeds that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. The ship moved through space using technology Earth scientists were still struggling to understand. "Still can't believe we're here," said engineer Samantha Lewis, joining him at the window. Sam was brilliant with machines, which was why she had been selected for this first official delegation. "They didn't expect us to accept so quickly," Peter said. "I saw Ambassador Lyertek's face when the council voted yes after only 3 months of talks. Maybe they're not used to dealing with young species who can make decisions," Sam replied with a slight smile. The journey took only 4 days. When they arrived, Centauri Prime took everyone's breath away. The planet was covered with gleaming cities and orbital rings. Ships of all sizes moved between thousands of stations. "There are representatives from over 200 species here," their guide, Vendo, explained as their shuttle descended. "Most are full members. Some, like Earth, are protectorates learning the ways of the Confederation." The humans were given quarters in the new species district. Peter noticed it was far from the main government buildings. Their access cards also had clear limitations. The next day, Peter and Dr. Henry Russell, their xenobiologist, attended their first Confederation meeting. They sat in the back as observers while representatives from various worlds discussed trade and border issues. "Notice anything strange?" Henry whispered as they watched. Peter had. They all looked somewhat alike. Different colors and sizes, but similar basic shapes. Bipedal, 2 arms, head on top, eyes in front, Henry listed. Statistically unlikely for so many species to evolve so similarly. Their conversation stopped when a blue-skinned official approached. "Commander Wright, I am Sector Administrator Joel Ran. I hope you find the proceedings educational. Your species will be in the observer category for approximately 50 of your Earth years before qualifying for voting status." 50 years seems like a long time, Peter said carefully. Joel Ran's expression didn't change. "For some species, we require 100 or more. Consider yourselves fortunate." Later that week, Sam made an interesting discovery while setting up their Earth equipment. "Pete, come look at this," she called from her workstation. "The Confederation gave us adapters for our devices, right? But I took one apart." She showed him the inside of the alien adapter. "Their tech shouldn't connect to ours so easily. It's like their systems were designed to be compatible with ours from the start." Peter frowned. "That doesn't make sense. They just discovered us." That night, their delegation attended a reception. Peter watched as various aliens mingled, some giving curious glances toward the humans. He overheard 2 reptilian delegates talking. They adapted to the translation implants faster than expected, one said. "Unsurprising given their genetic markers." The other replied, "It's almost as if." They noticed Peter and stopped talking. Dr. Russell found Peter by the food table. "I've been studying the biological data they gave us access to. Humans have strange genetic similarities to some of the founding species of the Confederation." "Coincidence?" Peter asked. "Possibly, but they've restricted my access to deeper genetic archives," Henry said. "When I asked about human access to historical records beyond the last 10,000 years, my request was denied." A week later, the humans were shown more of the capital city, but certain areas remained off-limits. Peter noticed how the Confederation officials carefully controlled what they saw. When he asked about a large structure visible in the distance, Vendo simply said, "That sector is restricted to full members." As their first month on Centauri Prime ended, Peter met with Sam and Dr. Russell in private. "Something isn't right," he said. "They're hiding things from us." "Question is," Sam replied, looking out at the alien city, "what don't they want us to know about ourselves?" Dr. Olivia Martinez had joined the delegation on Centauri Prime after spending 3 months studying the Confederation language database. Now she sat in the Grand Archives, a massive building with information from across the galaxy. Earth personnel were allowed access to only certain sections. Lieutenant Eric Johnson, a military intelligence officer with a background in history, worked with her. Together, they searched for information about Earth's region of space. "It's strange," Olivia said quietly. "There's almost nothing about our solar system in any of these records. Just basic star charts." Eric nodded. "Every other inhabited system has detailed survey reports going back thousands of years. For Earth, there's nothing before our radio signals were detected." They had been working for weeks, carefully noting which topics were restricted. Military history, ancient civilizations, something called the Great Conflict, all off-limits to Earth's representatives. Their breakthrough came unexpectedly. A young archivist named Kellinar approached their table one day. Kellinar was a Torellian, with pale yellow skin and large, thoughtful eyes. "You are the humans who come here every day," Kellinar said. "I am a junior archivist. I notice you try to access the same restricted files often." Olivia and Eric exchanged worried glances. Were they in trouble? "I am curious about humans," Kellinar continued, voice lowered. "There are rumors among younger archivists. Your species is special interest to the High Council." "Special how?" Eric asked. Kellinar looked around nervously. "I cannot say more here. But if you truly seek knowledge, come to Storage Level B, Section 47 after closing time tonight. I will leave my access card." That night, with Kellinar's card, they entered a dimly lit storage room filled with physical records. These weren't on the main computer system. "Old records," Eric whispered. "Pre-digital." They found drawers marked with symbols matching the restricted warnings they'd seen before. Inside were thin metallic sheets with writing that shifted and moved. Olivia's translator implant struggled with the ancient language, but she could understand parts. This mentioned something called the Architects and a war 50,000 years ago. Eric found another document. "Look at this star map. Our solar system is marked. It says Quarantine Zone Alpha." They worked quickly, taking images with their devices. One document showed a timeline of the war. The Architects, an advanced species, had fought against a coalition that later became the Confederation. The war had been devastating. The Architects created technologies that many Confederation species still use today. Olivia read. After their defeat, remaining Architect forces retreated to unknown regions. Quarantine zones were established around suspected hideouts. "Earth is in Quarantine Zone Alpha," Eric said. "Do you think?" They heard a noise and quickly put everything back. They slipped out just before security arrived. The next morning, they found Engineer Lewis in the Earth delegation's private meeting room. "I need to show you something," Sam said. She had taken apart more Confederation technology. Their tech interfaces directly with human neural patterns. Better than with some member species. It's like it was designed for us. Eric shared what they had discovered. Earth might have been a refuge for these architects. What if humans are connected to them somehow? Their conversation was interrupted when Commander Wright entered. "We have a problem." Dr. Russell found something in the medical database before his access was cut off. Human DNA has markers that match architect genetic patterns in the xenobiology archives. "They know," Olivia said. "The Confederation has known about Earth for a long time. They weren't discovering us. They were checking on us." "There's more," Peter said grimly. "I just got word from Earth. Construction workers in the Atacama Desert found something buried deep underground. Some kind of ancient facility with technology no one understands. Ambassador Leartech is headed back to Earth right now with the security team." Olivia looked at the others. "We need to get home. Fast." The pieces were starting to come together, and the picture they formed was nothing like what humans had been told. Director Catherine Boyd stood at the edge of the massive hole in the Atacama Desert. Workers had been building a solar farm when their equipment broke through the ground, revealing something impossible. "How big is it?" she asked the site manager. "We don't know yet, ma'am. The main chamber we found is about the size of a football stadium, but scans show it goes much deeper and spreads out for miles. Catherine had been director of global security for only 2 years. Now she faced what might be the biggest discovery in human history. She adjusted her hat against the harsh desert sun and spoke into her comm unit. "Send in the first team. Full protective gear, but no weapons. We don't know what we're dealing with." 6 hours later, she watched the camera feeds as the team explored the underground facility. The structure was enormous and clearly not built by humans, at least not by any civilization known to history. The walls were made of a strange metal that seemed to glow faintly. There were control panels with symbols that matched no known language. Most surprising was how well preserved everything looked, despite apparently being thousands of years old. "Director, you need to see this," called Dr. Alan Foster, the lead scientist. He pointed to a large circular platform in the center of the main chamber. "Watch what happens when Jensen touches it." On screen, a technician placed his hand on the surface. Immediately, the platform lit up with blue light. Symbols appeared in the air above it. "It responds to human touch," Dr. Foster explained. "We've tried using robots and tools, but it only activates for humans. And look at this." He showed her images of symbols found throughout the facility. These match symbols seen on the Confederation ships. This place was built by the same civilization that created their technology. Catherine's secure phone rang. It was a direct call from the United Earth Council. "Madam Director, Ambassador Lyertek has just arrived back on Earth demanding immediate access to the Atacama site. He claims oversight responsibility under the Protectorate Agreement." "Stall them," Catherine ordered. 24 hours at least. We need more time." She turned to her assistant. "Get Lieutenant Colonel Frank Davis here now. Tell him to bring his special operations team." Within hours, Davis arrived. He was a tall, serious man who specialized in high-risk situations. "I need you to activate this facility," Catherine told him after briefing him on the situation. "Based on what Commander Wright's team has discovered off-world, we believe this is connected to an ancient species called the Architects. We need to know what this place is before the Confederation takes control." Davis selected a small team, and they entered the facility with Dr. Foster. They carefully studied the control systems, testing different approaches. The panels seemed to be designed for human hands. One technician noted, "It's like they were made for us." After several attempts, Davis himself placed both hands on the main control platform. The entire facility suddenly hummed to life. Lights activated throughout the structure. Holographic displays appeared, showing the solar system and strange symbols. Dr. Foster worked frantically at a terminal. "It's connecting to something. Multiple signals activating across the solar system. Mars, Venus, the Moon, Jupiter's moons. What is this place?" Catherine asked, watching the displays. "It's a defense system," Davis said, somehow understanding the symbols. "A planetary defense network. And we just turned it on." Above them, hidden installations across the solar system awakened from thousands of years of sleep. On Mars, deep below the Olympus Mons, machinery began to move. Beneath Europa's ice, energy signatures flared to life. On Earth's moon, something massive stirred in the darkness of the far side. Catherine's phone rang again. "Director, Ambassador Lyertek is demanding an emergency meeting. They say their sensors have detected unusual energy signatures coming from Earth and throughout our solar system. They sound afraid." Catherine looked at the activated facility around her. "Tell them we'll meet tomorrow. We have some questions of our own that need answering first." In orbit around Earth, the Confederation ships moved into defensive positions. What had been hidden was now awakening. Ambassador Lyertek's shuttle landed at the United Earth Council headquarters in Geneva. Unlike his previous visits, he brought a team of Confederation security officers. Their uniforms were different from the diplomatic staff, darker, with symbols that suggested military rank. Director Catherine Boyd waited in the conference room with Dr. Olivia Martinez, who had returned from Centauri Prime just hours earlier. Lieutenant Colonel Davis stood near the door, his face calm but alert. "Director Boyd," Liartech said as he entered. His usual friendly tone was gone. "The Confederation demands immediate access to the facility you have discovered and activated. This is not a request." Catherine remained seated. "Ambassador, we have questions before we can discuss access to any Earth facilities. The Protectorate Agreement gives us oversight of all significant technological discoveries," Liartech insisted. "What you found falls under our jurisdiction." "Does it?" Olivia asked quietly. She placed a small device on the table that projected images of the documents she and Lieutenant Johnson had found in the Confederation archives. "We know about the architects, Ambassador, and about Quarantine Zone Alpha." Liartech's face changed. For the first time since they'd met him, he looked genuinely surprised. "How did you access those records?" he demanded. "That's not important," Catherine said. "What matters is what they tell us. Earth wasn't recently discovered. The Confederation has been watching us for thousands of years." The ambassador hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. "Yes, Earth has been under observation since the end of the Great Conflict, 50,000 years ago." "Why?" Davis asked. "Because of what you are," Liartech said simply. "Or rather, what your ancestors were." Olivia leaned forward. "We're descendants of the architects, aren't we?" "Not exactly descendants," the ambassador corrected. "You are the architects, or what's left of them." He explained that after losing the war, the last architects retreated to Earth, an isolated planet far from Confederation space. They knew they would be hunted, so they made a desperate choice. They erased all signs of their advanced civilization on Earth, Liartech said. Then they used genetic engineering to blend with the primitive humans already evolving here. They became you, hiding their true nature even from themselves. "But why would they do that?" Catherine asked. "To survive. The Confederation would have destroyed this planet if they knew architects remained here. So your ancestors hid themselves in plain sight, becoming primitive again. They buried their technology and altered their genes to remove certain capabilities." "What capabilities?" Davis asked. "The architects could interface directly with their technology using their minds," Liartech explained. "It's why Confederation technology responds so well to humans today. It was originally designed by your ancestors." Catherine stood up slowly. "So when Earth developed radio and then space travel, it triggered ancient monitoring protocols," the ambassador confirmed. "The Confederation watched carefully to see if you were truly developing naturally or if the architects were re-emerging. When your technology remained conventional, we decided it was safe to make contact. Until we found the facility," Davis said. "Yes, when you activated it, you triggered defense systems across your solar system. Systems we thought were disabled long ago." Liartech's voice became urgent. "You must understand, there are factions in the Confederation who see this as confirmation of their worst fears. They believe the architects planned this all along, to hide, evolve, and one day reclaim their place in the galaxy." "And what do these factions want to do about it?" Catherine asked, though she already knew the answer. "They want to eliminate the threat before it fully awakens," Liartech said quietly. "A Confederation battle fleet is already on its way to your solar system." Olivia exchanged glances with Catherine. "Why are you telling us this? Whose side are you on?" "I am a historian before I am a diplomat," Liartech said. "The truth is, the architects were not the monsters our histories claim. The war was complicated. Some of us believe the old hatreds should end." Davis's comm unit buzzed. He answered it and turned to Catherine with a grim expression. "Director, we're getting reports from the Lunar Observatory. Multiple ships just appeared at the edge of our solar system. They're not responding to hails. The ancient conflict that had been hidden for 50,000 years was about to begin again." Admiral Jason Miller stood in Earth's Orbital Defense Center, watching as the Confederation fleet grew larger on the main screen. 27 ships had arrived at the edge of the solar system. More were coming. Time to weapon range, he asked. 6 hours at their current speed, sir, his officer replied. The Admiral turned to Major Gregory Allen, who had been recalled from Neptune Patrol. What do you think, Major? You met them first. They're faster and better armed, Greg said honestly. But we have something they don't expect. On screens around the command center, symbols flashed as the ancient defense network continued to activate. Strange energy readings appeared on Jupiter's moons, in the asteroid belt, and deep beneath Earth's oceans. Lieutenant Colonel Davis entered with Director Boyd. The Atacama facility is fully operational, Davis reported. And it's not just defensive. There are weapon systems we never imagined. Catherine nodded. Ambassador Lyertek is speaking with the Confederation fleet, trying to negotiate. But we should prepare for the worst. At the Confederation capital, Commander Peter Wright and his team were now considered security risks. They were confined to their quarters, guarded by security officers. We have to warn Earth about what we've learned, Peter told Sam and Dr. Russell as they whispered in their common room. The Confederation Council is split. Some want peace, but the military faction is in control of the fleet heading to Earth. How do we get out? Sam asked. There are guards everywhere. A soft knock came at their door. When Peter opened it, Kelnar stood there with another alien Peter didn't recognize. You must come quickly, Kelnar said. There isn't much time. Tevlar here can get you to a ship. Tevlar, who had blue skin with silver markings, nodded. Many of the younger species disagree with the military action against Earth. We believe the old hatred should end. They slipped through service corridors, avoiding patrols. Kelnar explained as they moved. The truth has been hidden, even from most Confederation species. The architects weren't conquerors, as our histories claim. They were teachers who shared technology freely. Then why the war? Sam asked. Power, Tevlar said simply. Certain species wanted control of architect technology for themselves. When the architects refused to give one group advantages over others, they were branded as dangerous. At Earth, the Confederation fleet moved closer. Admiral Miller ordered Earth's small fleet of ships to defensive positions. Sir, we're detecting energy buildups in the ancient installations across the solar system, reported his tactical officer. They're creating some kind of shield. On the view screen, a shimmer appeared as an energy field began to form around Earth. Similar fields appeared around the Moon and Mars. In the Atacama facility, Davis watched in awe as holographic displays showed the defense network activating. It's protecting all our colonies, he told Catherine over the comm. But there's something else happening. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in a crater on the far side of the Moon that had been avoided by human explorers for reasons no one could explain, rock and dust fell away as a massive door opened for the first time in 50,000 years. Dr. Martinez studied the symbols streaming across the screens in the facility. It's not just defense, she said suddenly. This is regeneration. The system is rebuilding something. On the Moon, enormous machinery awoke. A vast construction facility, hidden for millennia, began to power up. On Commander Wright's stolen ship, now racing toward Earth, Sam picked up the lunar energy signature. Whatever that is, it's huge, she said. Bigger than anything the Confederation has. Peter looked at the readings. We need to get to Earth fast. The real battle is about to begin. Back on Earth, Admiral Miller received a message from the lead Confederation warship. This is Fleet Commander Dorvac of the Confederation. Surrender control of all architect facilities immediately or face destruction. As Miller prepared to respond, Lieutenant Colonel Davis contacted him from the Atacama facility. Admiral, you need to see this. The screen showed a vast chamber deep beneath the lunar surface. Inside were hundreds of ships, sleek, powerful vessels, unlike anything humans had built. They're sending us a message from the Moon, Davis said. The ships can only be piloted by humans. They're ours if we want them. Miller smiled for the first time that day. Tell them we accept. Major Gregory Allen stood inside the largest ship in the lunar hangar. The vessel was sleek and beautiful, with flowing lines that seemed both ancient and advanced at the same time. Its name, according to the symbols that appeared when he touched the control panel, translated roughly to remembrance. "How do we even fly these?" asked his second-in-command, Captain Lisa Ward. 50 pilots had been shuttled to the moon in just hours after the discovery. "I think they'll show us," Greg said. He placed his hands on the main control panel. At once, information flowed into his mind. Not words or pictures exactly, but understanding. The ship was speaking to him. In orbit around Earth, the Confederation fleet had arrived. 27 warships faced Earth's small defensive fleet of 12 ships. Final warning. Came the message from Fleet Commander Dorvac. "Surrender all architect technology, or we will open fire." Admiral Miller looked at Ambassador Lyertek, who now stood on Earth's command deck. "Ambassador, make one last attempt." Lyertek opened a channel. "Commander Dorvac, I urge restraint. We have no proof these humans plan to use the architect technology aggressively. There is a peaceful solution." "You have been compromised, Ambassador." Dorvac cut him off. "The Council has voted. The threat must be eliminated now, before it fully awakens." The channel closed. On the tactical display, the Confederation ships began to move forward. "All ships, defensive positions," Admiral Miller ordered. "Activate the shield network." The energy shield strengthened around Earth, creating a shimmering barrier. The Confederation ships fired, powerful energy beams striking the shields. "Shields holding," reported the tactical officer, surprised. "They're at 90% strength." But Miller knew Earth's small fleet couldn't hold off the Confederation ships for long. Where are those lunar ships? On the far side of the moon. The ancient hangar doors opened fully. One by one, 50 ships rose from the lunar surface. They were smaller than the largest Confederation vessels, but moved with incredible speed and grace. Major Allen sat in the command chair of the Remembrance, leading the fleet. The ship's systems melded with his mind, showing him exactly what to do. "All ships, follow my lead," he ordered. "We'll come in from behind the Confederation fleet." At the Confederation capital, Commander Wright's stolen ship had docked at the main communications hub. With help from Kellinar and other sympathetic aliens, they fought their way to the central broadcast chamber. "We need to send this to every world in the Confederation," Peter said, loading the data they had gathered about the true history of the architects. The real story, not the propaganda. Sam worked at the controls. "Broadcasting now. It's going to every planet, every ship." Throughout the Confederation, screens lit up with images and information, exposing the lie at the heart of their history. The architects had been peaceful. The war had been started by power-hungry factions who wanted exclusive control of their technology. Back at Earth, the battle had begun in earnest. Earth's small fleet fought bravely, but was outmatched. 2 human ships had already been destroyed, while the shields around Earth weakened under continuous fire. Then, from behind the moon, came Major Allen's fleet. The ships moved faster than anything the Confederation had, weaving through enemy fire with impossible precision. "This is Major Gregory Allen of Earth to all Confederation vessels," Greg broadcast. "We don't want this fight. We never did. The architects, our ancestors, didn't want it either." His words were reinforced as Commander Wright's broadcast reached the Confederation fleet. On their screens, the truth played out in images and records their own leaders had hidden. Some Confederation ships stopped firing. Others continued the attack. 3 ships broke formation and moved to support Earth's forces. "What are you doing?" Dorvac demanded of the ships that had switched sides. "Ending this cycle of hatred," came the reply. "The humans are right. We've been lied to for generations." Dr. Martinez, working in the Atacama facility, made a final discovery as she decoded more of the ancient records. "It's all been planned," she told Director Boyd over the comm. The architects didn't just hide. They were evolving us, guiding human development, not to seek revenge, but to create a species that could unite the galaxy again, this time without the mistakes of the past. As the battle continued in space, more Confederation ships stopped firing. The truth was spreading, and with it, the possibility of peace. 3 months after the battle at Earth, Major Gregory Allen stood on the observation deck of the Remembrance, looking out at the Confederation capital world. What had once seemed alien and intimidating now felt different. Not home, but no longer strange either. The battle had ended not with destruction, but with understanding. After several Confederation ships joined Earth's side, Fleet Commander Dorvac had found himself outnumbered. When his own crew began questioning orders, he had finally stood down. In the weeks that followed, the entire Confederation had been shaken by the truth. Many older leaders had been removed from power. Some faced punishment for hiding history and pushing for war. "Ready for the ceremony?" Commander Peter Wright asked, joining Greg at the window. "As ready as I'll ever be," Greg replied. They walked together to the Great Hall where the new Confederation Council was meeting. Representatives from all member worlds filled the chamber. Earth now had full voting rights, not as a protectorate, but as a founding member. Director Catherine Boyd and Dr. Olivia Martinez waited for them at the entrance. Catherine now served as Earth's ambassador, while Olivia led the new Historical Truth Commission with Kellinar. "The archives are finally being opened to everyone," Olivia told them as they entered. "We're finding new information every day about the architects, about our past." Inside the chamber, Admiral Miller represented Earth's military. Engineer Samantha Lewis stood with a group of scientists from various worlds who were studying the ancient technology. Dr. Henry Russell worked with them, helping understand the genetic connections between humans and other species. Ambassador Lyertek, who had helped Earth during the crisis, nodded to them as they took their seats. Many of the younger Confederation species had allied with Earth, recognizing the injustice of the old system. "The Council is now in session," announced the new head counselor, a Torellian named Ven Lura. "Today we celebrate a new beginning for our galactic community." Lieutenant Colonel Davis entered the hall, carrying a small container. Inside was a piece of the ancient technology from the Atacama facility. It glowed with soft blue light. "For too long, we built our society on lies and fear," Ven Lura continued. "The revelation of Earth's true heritage has given us a chance to rebuild on truth and cooperation." The gathered representatives applauded. Even some of the older species who had initially resisted the changes now accepted the new direction. After the ceremony, Greg found himself in a garden overlooking the capital city. Lieutenant Colonel Davis joined him there. "Hard to believe it's only been 3 months," Davis said. Greg nodded. "Did you ever imagine when we first saw their ship that it would end like this?" "Never," Davis admitted. "I thought they were so far ahead of us. Turns out we were just hidden, even from ourselves." Engineer Lewis approached with a group of mixed human and alien scientists. "The lunar shipyard is now fully operational," she reported. "But we're not just rebuilding the old architect technology. We're creating something new, combining it with innovations from all Confederation species." Ambassador Boyd joined them. "The old council wanted to keep technology controlled by a few species. Our approach is different. Knowledge should be shared." Across the galaxy, more hidden architect facilities were being discovered and awakened. Major Allen now led a mixed fleet of human and alien crews, seeking these ancient outposts. Each one revealed new pieces of their shared history. Dr. Martinez had discovered that the architect's plan had never been about creating warriors for revenge. It had been about creating a new kind of human, one that understood both advanced technology and the value of peace. Humans who could help heal the divisions in the galaxy. As the sun set over the Confederation capital, Greg looked up at the stars. Earth was no longer hidden. Humanity now stood revealed as inheritors of an ancient legacy. But more important than the power they had found was the wisdom to use it well. The Confederation was changing. Old hatreds were fading. New connections were forming. And humanity, once thought primitive, now helped lead the way toward a better future, exactly as the architects had planned all along.